Welcome to episode 3 of MetaTrader 5 Essentials. I am happy that you are here. Now, we start off today with line analysis. That is what we're going to be doing. And of course, as we know, the first thing to do is we have to create a new chart. So this time around, I'm going to use Euro USD. Going to have so many things on the chart. So let's remove the trading history. Of course, to remove these boxes that you see here, that's the grid, we use Control G, right? And then we remove that, or you can right click here and come and press on this drop down here. So Control G. So this is our Euro USD 1 hour chart, right? And so what I want us to do is look at this section of the MetaTrader, this section here, this line section here. So we've got the crosshair with the vertical line, the horizontal line, the trend line, and all of these. But there are some tricks that I'm going to teach you today that you may not have known about some of these lines and some of these shapes that are in this section over here. So this first one, of course, is the cursor. If you have drawn a line, maybe you want to return back to having your mouse, you have to come back here and click on cursor so that you have the mouse on the screen. Then this crosshair here, the crosshair, we can consider it a sniper gun, all right? If you look at the structure of the crosshair, you will find out that it is more or less like the sniper gun with the cross at the middle. And wherever you point the crosshair, you will find that it will show you exactly the details. If you look down there, it shows you the date and the time of that particular candle, right? So, and also another thing you have to check and see, if you look at the bottom right side of the MetaTrader platform, which is this side here. Unfortunately, I can't have two cursors on the screen. But if you look at the bottom right side, it shows us the date. Okay, let me go to this candlestick here. That's 2024-0404 at 10 o'clock. If you look at the right side, lower right side of my screen, you will see 2024-0404 10 o'clock, or representing the opening price of that candlestick is 1.08398. H is representing the highest, L representing the lowest, C representing the close of that candlestick. So when the candlestick close. So the crosshair will give you the date. It will also give you the price. Now, besides that, the crosshair can be used to check the number of pips, the number of bars. So if I left click on this candlestick here and I go up, this says 1.08569, 0 bars, 173 points, plus 0.16%. So this simply means I can check how many points this bar is, or how long this bar is. If I then move it to the right, as you can see now, it says 1 bar, meaning I'm 1 bar away from where I started. So if I continue moving, say, I want to know what happened in the past, say 10 hours, I can go 10 bars to the right. So I'm on 10 bars, and then I can go to the 10th bar and see, okay, so for the past 10 bars, we've moved 22.8 pips or 228 points. That's a movement of plus 0.21%. Right? If I were to move all the way maybe to 24 bars to see what happened in the past 24 hours. This is the 24th bar. I will see that there was almost zero movement over the 24 hours from the 4th of April to the 5th of April at 10 o'clock. All right. So this is how you can use the crosshair. It's a very important tool. Now, the crosshair on its own is a good tool, but you will need to couple it with something else. Say you want to be alerted when the market reaches that point there, over there, which is the highest point from where you were, right? You release the crosshair, right-click there. There is where it says trading. Now you can execute a trade using this. You can put a sell limit or a buy stop there, but you can also put an alert, which is another line that we want to talk about. This line over here. This is the alert line. So what does it do? It gives you an alert when the price reaches that point. So if you have got a certain point that you want to put an alert on, you can drag this line onto. Right? If you drag this line onto here, and you want the market to give you an alert when it passes through that line, then you will hear just now what the sound is like. Or you can customize also the sound that it gives you when it passes through that line as well. So this is the sound that it's making now. But if I want to customize this line, I can right-click on it and I can click on modify. And I've got all of this. I've got the sound. I could have this as mail. I could have it as a notification. So I'm going to talk about this another time because there's a lot that needs to be talked about. And if I click here, it will give me the sound, the types of MetaTrader sound that I can use. I can click on the 3 dots over here. So this is just something that I needed to mention. Of course, you can change the number of seconds that this alert is valid for, right? And also when it expires as well. So we'll talk about this another time. We have so much to talk about. I just wanted to mention after the crosshair. All right. Now, next on in line is the vertical line. Of course, it's very straightforward. You click on vertical line and then you draw the line there. If you want to customize it, you go to it, right click it, and then click on properties. Right. And then you can make it thicker. You can draw it as the background and not as the foreground, because sometimes you want to see the candlestick, but the line will not allow you to see some parts of the candlestick. So at least you can draw it as a background, and then you can create a description to say, oh, this line is, you can name it. Right? Now, a question would arise, why would a person name a line on the chart? When you begin coding, or when you begin your programming, besides the fact that you need to be organized, when you begin doing your programming, you will find out that the name of the line is actually very important. I've got an EA that I developed for one of my clients, one of my lady, it was a lady, and I remember she wanted an EA that trades above a certain price line or below a certain price line. So what we would do is I created an EA that has 2 lines, the buy line and the sell line. So what she just needed to do is to drag the line onto the screen and say, at this point I want to buy, at this point I want to sell. So when the market reaches that line or breaks above that line, it buys. If it breaks below another line, it sells. So you will need to name those lines in order for the code to be able to run at a specific point on the chart. So it's very, very important to name your fields when you draw lines on the chart. Very, very important. Okay, so click on OK. So as you can see, It's now thicker, and I drew it as a background, so it's behind the candlestick, right? These are some of the things that, don't really learn out there. Now, there is a very important aspect that I want to talk about just now, about horizontal lines. Now, if you draw a horizontal line, the thing is, majority of the time, it will go from the left to the right. This is what we call raying, right? If you right-click on this and go to the properties of the line, you will find on parameters, sorry, on visualization. Okay, you'll find on parameters there, it says value 1.0834. It doesn't mean you will only be able to draw it on that line, or you may have a certain price point in your head, right? So you can say, okay, 1.089 or 1.087, let's say. That's your price point. Then you click on OK. It goes and draws it exactly at 1.087. So you don't need to be spending too much time, just trying to make sure that it's at the right price. Like, I've seen a lot of traders doing that, where they're like, okay, I'm failing to place it exactly where I want it to go. You can do that by right-clicking, going to properties, then on parameters, you type in your value. That's number one. And then when it says visualization here, what you can do is you can remove this line from other time frames. Okay, so you don't, if you don't want to see a line on every time frame, you can just have it on the minutes time frame, right? On the, say, on the 5-minute or the 30-minute time frame, and then maybe on the hourly time frames, you don't want to see it on the 4-hour time frame. You click on OK. What will happen is it's visible on the H1, but it's not visible on H4. So if you go on H4, you won't see that line. But if you go on H1, you'll see it. Okay. So that's another thing that you may also need to understand or learn about drawing lines in the MetaTrader chart. Another thing which a lot of traders actually don't know about these lines here, the trend lines. I've seen people complain to MetaCalls about trend lines. You will find people drawing trend lines like this on MetaTrader 4, but on MetaTrader 5, it doesn't really come straight away drawing like this. What happens is it comes like this. Let me show you. It usually comes like that, where the line is not in a specific area. So in order for you to make sure that you restrict your line to a certain area, you right-click on it, go to properties, and then on parameters, you go and untick the ray right or ray left, and then click on OK. What that means is now you have the shorter line, which you can extend according to your own specification. So if you've ever seen me drawing my levels here on this chart and saying, okay, this is level 1, or this is level 1 for this Euro USD, and that's level 2, and that's level 3, and then after level 3 we have a peak, and then the market is going down, and all of that. I do that with the knowledge of how to make my trend line smaller or larger. Okay. Now, of course, your trend line is not going to be that accurate. So MetaTrader provided you with this option, which is the equidistant channel. So the equidistant channel, what it does is it helps you to draw proper trend lines. Okay. You will draw trend lines that match a certain specific channel. So you look here, this is your trend line, and that's the channel. So this is a more accurate trend line, and it helps us to identify the support and resistance of a particular channel, so that you can as well trade breakouts. Okay, so if you're a person who trades channel breakouts, this is the tool for you. Of course, with like the same with the other trend lines, you can array this thing to your right and ray to your left, right? And then you can also fill this channel so that it looks much neater, right? There's always something to learn on MetaTrader. It's a good software. I'm not too sure why the United States is sort of trying to get rid of this software. It's a good software. Maybe it's a Russian thing. I don't know. But yeah, this is one way of going about it. Now, I don't want to make this video too long. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just talk about the Fibonacci, which is the next line here. And then so that I don't continue making the video too long, I'm going to talk about the Fibonacci now. If you've watched my previous video on scalping, some of the best scalping methods out there, I talked about the Fibonacci as being one of the best tools in identifying non-congested zones. And I am going to show you here how to draw a Fibonacci line on your chart. And I'm going to explain a little bit on how to actually use the Fibonacci, because a lot of people don't actually know how to use the Fibonacci. So if you are going to draw this Fibonacci here, retracement lines, what you would need to do is you would need to first draw moving averages. Now you could draw simple moving averages, you could draw exponential moving averages. This is entirely up to your understanding of moving averages, which is something we'll talk about later. It's also still under line analysis. But if you were to draw a moving average, right, depending on the chart that you're drawing, right? I use the moving average 23 and the moving average 92 for gold. But a lot of people that I see use 50 and 200. Right? So let's draw moving average 50 here. And let's draw moving average 200. So these are our two moving averages. So what do the moving averages help us to do? When there is a crossover of a moving average, let me just go to a smaller time frame so that we can find a quicker 115, 5. Okay. So let's say you have this as your chart. When the market crosses over like this, when the market is going up, this is called a golden cross. I talk about that in one of the other videos. You want to draw the Fibonacci levels that predict what will happen in the future, because remember, when you are seeing this chart, you are in real time, so you are probably just there over here. You don't know what is going to happen in the future. So at this point, what you will do is you will go to your Fibonacci retracement, click on that. You go onto the cross, which is here, the golden cross, and then you click on it, you left click on it, and then you drag the Fibonacci 0 point to the most recent low, which is that. Now, a lot of traders will do this with candlesticks, but I would say on a line graph, it's much better. If you had a line graph here, a line chart, you will see that the 0 point is not actually where I drew it there. The 0 point is actually here, which is the body of the last law. So that is a more accurate representation of the Fibonacci level. Something that a lot of traders don't actually know, but now you know. So if you were to look at these levels here, you will see that as soon as the market did the crossover, it went and bounced on the 61.8 level or the 161.8 level, and then came back down to the 100 level and bounced on it, and then broke out of the 161.8, broke out of the 261.8, and went to the 423.6 level, and then bounced there and came back down. So as you can see, it's sort of following these Fibonacci retracement levels and coming and bouncing on those same lines. All right. So those people who trade Fibonacci, this is how they could draw the Fibonacci levels. For me, I prefer on gold the 92 and the 23 moving averages. It helps me to draw a much better Fib level. All right. So the video will be too long if I continue from here. So watch out for episode 4, where I move to the next tools there, the text, the arrow, and all the other stuff that is on there, and what it is for, how to use it, for the benefit, and then we're going to go through some of these things here: the data window, the toolbox, the strategy tester, and all of the other stuff that's embedded in MetaTrader 5. But till we meet again, all the best, and I hope your trading is going well.